Everyone, please feel free to go ahead and fill in all the way around if you'd like. We're all family and friends here.
Sorry.
All right. Well, welcome, family and friends, to Leannabeth's big day. For those of you I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, I'm Brian's oldest brother, Sean. I've never officiated anything before, and I'm generally terrified of speaking in public, so naturally, Brian and Leannabeth thought I would be the perfect fit for this. When I started putting the ceremony together, I quickly realized I had no idea what I was doing. After surveying my resources, my first thought was to turn to family and friends for advice. But then I realized I was forgetting the greatest resource of all, Google. Alas, my Google search for totally awesome wedding ceremonies came up empty-handed. So, I decided to go directly to the source. I asked Brian and Leannabeth to both write their version of how they got together. I also asked them to give me some idea of what they were looking for in a ceremony. Leannabeth said she wanted something funny and a little sweet. Brian just said, make it funny. They both agreed it should be short. I'm not going to guarantee funny or sweet, but I will keep it short. Brian and Leannabeth first met in September 2007 at Topaz Elementary School. Leannabeth was already working there as a tutor, and Brian had just been hired. Brian was nervous the first day and didn't know where to go, but luckily ran into his boss and Leannabeth on the way in. He claims he was treated with mild neglect until Leannabeth finally spoke these magic first words to him. Be stern with the kids and don't let them walk all over you. Brian was immediately smitten. He went home that night and told our other brother, Eric, about the beautiful girl he had met at work. Leannabeth, on the other hand, was not quite as impressed. Brian showed up that first day with hair down to his shoulders and a t-shirt and jeans, and she didn't think he'd last a week. In fact, she thought he looked a little bit like a homeless skateboarder. Pretty quickly, though, they became good friends and would often spend hours after work talking, despite the fact that both of them were in relationships with other people. As the year progressed, they continued to get closer, and Brian thought he was slowly working his way in. Well, a summer passed, a new school year began, and Brian had indeed worked his way in straight to the friend zone. It's been said that getting out of the category of friend is harder than getting out of Alcatraz. And that definitely ended up being the case for Brian here. The entire school year was spent alternating between arguing, flirting, and completely ignoring each other. Needless to say, things were kind of awkward. The school year finally ended, and Leannabeth's family was taking its trip to Yosemite to start the summer. Brian somehow scored an invite and talked Eric into going with him.
And Austin.
And Austin, you're new. Eric had a show in Hollywood the night before the trip, so the boys hastily packed some Chef Boyardee and ramen noodles and planned to drive straight from the show to Yosemite. The show ended at 2 a.m., and the boys drove all night, straight through, finally arriving in Yosemite at 10 a.m. After a short nap, Brian met Leannabeth's family for the first time and immediately loved them. They were funny, easy to get along with, and perhaps most importantly, had lots of great food they were willing to share. Surrounded by the beauty of Yosemite and having a great time with Leannabeth's family, Brian grew more miserable by the minute. He was positive that he and Leannabeth should be together, and this trip only reinforced that. He couldn't take it anymore, and on the long drive home, decided to cut off contact with Leannabeth completely. Semi-amazingly, the silent treatment actually worked, and after a couple of months, Leannabeth invited him out to lunch. They met up and started arguing immediately. Before long, though, they were laughing and things were back to normal, whatever that was. Lunch turned into getting coffee, and getting coffee turned into dinner. At dinner, the topic of music came up. One of the bands both of them liked was the Foo Fighters, but of course, they still found something to disagree on. In this case, it was what member of the band had previously been in another famous band, Nirvana. Leannabeth was being stubborn and said they should bet on it.